Hi everyone. What you're going to do this week are several different things. The first thing that you're going to do is I'm going to lead you through quite a long writing assignment. Through the semester there's like two different writing assignments that I give you kind of directed prompts, but it involves about an hour of straight writing. And this is one of those days. So this is going to be turned in as one of your reflections, but it's going to be way longer than what your typical reflections are. I'm going to give you three different pieces, and each piece needs to be labeled as such, but you will turn it in as one assignment. And so that's called the feeling states of awareness, and that will be through a whole guided video that you will listen kind of to the prompts and go along with that. So just please make sure that you follow along the instructions as you go with that. But before you even start, please, 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 it's extremely important that you make sure that you have an hour of uninterrupted time to be able to complete it, because I do give you instructions and it's meant to be done all in one sitting. So that's very important. And then you will submit that assignment. That's kind of the main assignment for the week. Then after that, what I want you to do is I want you to read in the book pages 111 to 121. What that does is actually the first couple of pages of that are actually doing the assignment that I'm going to have you do that's already embedded in that video. So you don't have to do that assignment over again, but I do want you to reread it. And then it's kind of an explanation. The last several pages is just kind of an explanation of usually how that assignment goes if you were to be doing it in a group of people, like say if you were in a face-to-face class, kind of how that whole assignment goes, because it kind of will reflect on what many of your experiences may be like as you went through that assignment, because the assignment is really meant to be an experiential lesson in attention. So it's really important, number one, that you give yourself time to do it, and that you really pay attention to kind of how you're feeling through that you really follow the prompts as they're laid out in that video. And then also it helps to kind of reflect and read about how other people's experiences are with that assignment if they were to do it in a group of people. So that's the very first thing. And again, that needs about an hour of uninterrupted time. After that, you will watch a fairly shortish video with some content. Instead of heavy reading on the content this week, I'm gonna actually do some talking and instructing on a video. And so you'll read that, you'll watch that content video, and then from the content video, then you'll take the regular content quiz. And again, that'll just be through the video. And because again, I want to be able to kind of talk about some of the things that you've been reading about and talk about some of the more important concepts content-wise that have to do with this class. And then from there, your tool this week is going to be called paying attention to attention. Because basically we go through every day, and you're going to see from the other assignments that you do earlier, that your attention really matters, and what your attention is focused on really matters, and what your attention is focused on and how you see things from your kind of physiological state of feeling really impacts the way that you see in your environment and the way that you interpret your environment. So the very first piece of being able to be aware of how all that works is just to be aware of where your attention is in the first place. So your practice this week is really simple. It's just called paying attention to attention. And I just want you to pause 4 times every day. Just pause for a moment and just notice where your attention is. Because most of the time we just don't know. We're just going through, kind of our day as if our day is just it's like we're on, automatic pilot, and we're not even thinking about where our attention is. So I want you to intentionally pause 4 times a day and just notice where your attention is. Notice where your thoughts are. It might help. I tell students all the time to put maybe a post-it note on a rear view mirror, or think about it every time you touch a doorknob, because usually that means you're going in or out of some place. A post-it note on your mirror at home, any place that you kind of routinely look, put a little post-it note. Just where is your attention? So I just want you to pause and notice. You don't have to do anything from there. Just pause and notice. And then what I want you to do is I want you to record in your heart log just what happened when you noticed where your attention is. That's all you need to do. And then on page 108 in the book, in your book, it kind of walks you through what that practice looks like. And there's a lot of questions. How can you remind yourself what, did you notice where your attention was? So that actually, page 108 is there's an exercise and reflection number 4 in the book. That will be submitted under your resilience tool submission. Okay, so you'll pause, you'll record your attention to attention just every 4 times, pausing every day in the heart log, but the actual submission on the resilience tool will be answering those questions on 108 of how you're actually going to implement how you pay attention to attention. So the main things that you're going to be submitting this week, again, are the feeling states of awareness. That's a very long, it's one of the most important activities that we do for the semester. So it's really important that you give yourself the time, the space, and that it is uninterrupted where you can really focus. This takes a lot of focus. And then you will be doing the content quiz. And that's again based on the content in the lecture that you're going to be watching, and then you will be submitting that page 108 exercise and reflection on how you will implement attention to attention. So again, just as a repeat, not just what you're submitting, but you're going to watch the feeling states of awareness and do the activity, full hour interrupted. You're going to read pages 111 to 121. You're going to watch the content lecture. You're going to do the content quiz, and then you're going to do the resilience tool on page 108. Reflect on it first, implement it, record it in your heart logs. Okay, have a good week.